Hello, welcome to Walking the Walk and Talking the Talk podcast. My name's Brad.
I'm Mick.
And what we're going to be doing on this podcast is talking about real life, real struggles, people's loneliness, and how they overcome obstacles in their life.
I'm Mick. This is going to be about real recovery. No sugarcoating. None of the usual bullshit about, oh yeah, everything's dead easy, all we have to do. It's just going to be honest conversations. It's going to be real. It's going to be about how messy it is to be human beings.
And I'm going to be I'm the quiet one of the two of us. I don't say things as it is, unlike someone, but that's how it's going to be. It's going to be brutal, honest, and real, because that's what we are.
Yeah, and if Bradley's like the Tigger of the pair, I'll probably be more like the ER. While he's jumping about, I'll be the one standing in the corner saying, oh no, my tail's going to fall off.
And yeah, but we both met each other on this journey, what we're both on, and you know, we both come from similar backgrounds, similar events, similar life stories, you know, and that's what brings us both to go close together, and you know, that's how we met.
Yeah, man, and this is about keeping it genuine as well, isn't it? You know what I mean? There's loads of people out there who want to talk the talk. They want to say how well they're doing. They want to tell everyone, oh, I'm brilliant, everything's fine. But they're not going along walking the walk with it. They're not actually putting in the hard work. They're just wanting to tell everyone, look at me, look at how good I am. We won't be doing that. We'll be sat here sometimes saying, do you know what? I'm hanging out of my ass. What do we do? Because there's a lot of people out there who are going to feel like they're hanging out of their ass and they're going to want to know what to do.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what? Life isn't easy, you know, with things are put in front of us for a reason, and we overcome them. And, you know, the point of this podcast is getting out there, how we overcome life struggles and events, you know, and that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Do you know what I mean? There's people that's going to be watching this, and you know, they can relate to a lot of things me and Mick talk around, you know, and that's what life is, you know, having someone you can look up to, like I look up to Mick, you know, who's further on in the journey, and who helps you.
Yeah, and it's that honesty. It's about saying, you know what, life's a shit house. And it is a shit house, but sometimes you can just get on with it. You know, there used to be an old saying, in every bag of shite, a little glint of gold. It's usually the wrapper off a Karamak, but it's still there. And it's about finding that, man.
Yeah, man. So on that note, Mick, how's your weekend been, mate?
Yeah, it's been all right. It's been, got kids, haven't I? Yeah. It's not easy. Never easy, you know what I mean? I've got kids and they take up some time, but they make me want to wake up on a weekend as well. You know, I keep busy. Yeah. I can't not be busy. You know, I've got to be doing something. Always got to be messing about, doing something, keeping my mind active. Because as soon as my mind isn't active, it starts wandering, starts telling me stories, then that might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Why don't you try and do that for a change? You've not had one of them in a while. So keep my mind busy.
And the thing is with you, Mick, you do a lot of good things for people, don't you? And it's about having that balance as well, what you set. And like me, sometimes I can be a lot, well, more or less all the time, all over, and you reel me in sometimes to say, right, this is where you need to be doing, this is what you need to be doing. And sometimes it's hard to accept it, but like I say, the point of this podcast is for people's real life struggles and how they overcome things. And it's good to have that person to look up to who's further on in the journey, so you can copy their footsteps, what they got to where they are today in the journey.
Yeah, you know what it is? For me, it's boundaries as well. I don't know boundaries. Never used boundaries. Didn't even know what they was. Do you know what I mean? Knew what a boundary line was. That was the thing that you didn't cross when you was burgling somebody. If you wanted, you know what I mean, burgling somebody's house, you had to cross the boundary line. But when it comes to personal boundaries, I didn't have a clue what that was. And then when I got into recovery, I went the other way. And it was all about people pleasing. Oh, I've got to do that because I've told somebody I'll do that, and I've got to do that, and I've got to do that. And sometimes at the time I've got to go, what? No, I haven't. No, I haven't got to do that. And I'm still, that's one of my traits that I still work on, because sometimes I'll say, oh, but I've promised them. I've promised them. And then I go, so fucking what? I've promised them. I don't owe them anything. And if I need to take time for myself, like at a weekend, so like, for instance, yesterday, it was Sunday. Forgot the clocks had gone forward. But I didn't want to do anything. My wife's saying to me, let's go down here, let's go down and collect some frog spawn. Oh, yeah, why don't we? I'm nearly 50, man. Let's go frog spawning, like I used to when I was 9. And then I went, do you know what? No, I'm not doing that. She went, why? I don't want to. Simple as that. I don't want to. Don't owe you now. And in the same way, she doesn't owe me anything. Lots of stuff she wants me to do.
Going back to that people pleasing, I can relate a lot with that. First time I come round, my journey, my recovery journey or whatever, I'm not going to speak around it because it's respecting the fellowship, what I mean. But I did everything for the wrong reasons. I did it to please other people. Do you know what I mean? To get people off my back for a certain amount of time. I wasn't serious about stopping doing what I was doing, but I just did it for that time being so they could stay off my back. And I've learned a lot this time, coming around and all that. I need to do what's best for me and what's working for me and what's not. And if I think something's not serving me well on this journey, then I'll step away from it, because I know further down the line I'll trip myself up with it. I'll get too cocky to things like I've always done on my journey. I've always got too cocky with what I was doing, and I fell back on my ass big time.
That's exactly it. And it's that, it comes down to, like, you know what I mean, where you're not comfortable. We've got to stay. Stretching your comfort zone is fine, but don't do it too much. Don't start play acting, because then before you know it, you're running away somewhere, you're hiding, or, So I will always try and step out of my comfort zone. I'm stepping out of it massively doing this shite. Yeah. But I love it, do you know what I mean? And it's something that I've got to do. Oh, shit. Something that I've got to do, because that's to stretch me a little bit. But if it came to a point where I'm thinking, oh, this is getting dangerous, even up here, it's getting dangerous, I've got to say, right, no more of that. Call it a day, And it's a bit like you've just been saying, and doing stuff for the wrong reasons. It's selfish. And we're taught when we come into recovery, wherever you go into recovery, be it rehabs, fellowships, groups, whatever, you're taught, oh, you've got to be so selfless. You've got to be so, there's a difference between selfless and selfish for the start off. We have to be selfish sometimes, because if I'm not selfish and I don't look after my recovery, and then I can't look after yours, what the fuck am I doing looking after your recovery? You phoning me up saying, Mick, what do we do with this? I don't know, because I'm over there with a bag. Yeah. Don't ask me. So I've got to make sure that my priority remains my recovery. That comes before everything. It's got to. It comes before my wife, my kids, my sponsees, my dad, my sisters, anyone. It's got to come before them, because without my recovery, without my program, I'm nothing. No. And then what comes next is the action. We put action in.
And I can relate to that. I really can relate to that, because without recovery, you'd have nothing. And going back a few months ago, when I was banged up for whatever happened, and I looked out that window and I convinced myself that I need to change my life, because I can't keep going down this road. It's not fair on me, my family, and it's just that's where my disease of addiction took me. I missed out on a lot of things. I lost a lot of things as well. And, I promised myself that I was going to stop. And I did. I went to wherever I went and got help, and I've not looked back since, and I'm 6 months now. I know it's only a short period, but to me that means so much, because in these months I've gained a lot of things, and that's what this stuff does. And it's not just that, it's the walking group we've got as well. We'll talk around that. You know, you're running it as well. Emma's running it. Cozzy, and you know, this is what this stuff does. What we do, it brings people together, and it's like a family in it.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, I was only talking about this earlier today in one of the groups I work in. I'm addictive. I'm an addictive person. I get addicted to everything. Doesn't matter what it is. Drugs, drink, sex, gambling, cake. I'm addicted to Mr. Kipling's. Simple as that. I can't help it. I'm always going to have to be addicted to something. And all I do now is I turn my addiction around. I've just shifted it and I turn it into my recovery. And sometimes I still have to be told by other people, what you're doing, slow it down. You're on a week's holiday. Why are you doing that? Why are you looking at that? Why are you going on walking groups when you're on your holidays? And I say, because this is what I love doing. I've not got anything else without my recovery. I need to keep it going. So at times, a week's holiday, it can be hard for us. It can be hard for people like when you're in recovery.
And I think people like us, it's just in us to help people, because we know what it's like when you're out there, when you're on your knees and you're begging for that help, and you know, we come along and people like us come along and offer that help, you know, and that's where I am today, because someone showed me the right way. And without these things in life, people will just be broken, won't they? They stay broken. They really
Yeah.
won't.
And you know, I remember when I first met you. I remember when you first walked in that room, and I thought to myself, oh, fucking hell, here we go. Here's a kid, you know, full of himself, fucking full of recovery, knew everything. And I thought, yeah, nice one. Didn't pay him that much attention, if I'm honest with you. Didn't, you know what I mean? He's just another fucking body on a chair. But then you said about, do you want to come for a walk on weekend? And we went for a walk, and then you asked me then if I'd do some work with you.
Yeah.
And I thought, straight away, do you know what? That takes bollocks, that. It takes bollocks to not be the big I am that he was. I could see he had this mask on. I thought, right, well, first off, what I've got to do is knock that mask out of him. You know, he's full of all sorts of ego and stuff. We'll squeeze it out of him like I would do an orange at half time. Squeeze it out of him. And slowly, and I did. And it's been, you've been the better of it. But at the same time, he's lifted me up. It's not a one-way street. It's not just me phoning Brad up saying, oh, Brad, how are you? Yeah. Oh, what are you doing? And him phoning me up saying, oh, boo-hoo, my life's terrible. What am I going to do? Mick's got all the answers. Mick doesn't know shit from clay half the time. But together, we'll get through. We'll get to the answer. Sometimes we get to the answer. And
it's that helping hand, in it, Mick. And you know, sometimes it's not been easy. It's not been. I've been like that when you've corrected me in my behaviours. But that's what you're saying there. You've knocked my bad behaviours out of me. Well, not all of them. There's still of them. There's still more to be knocked off. But challenging my behaviours. No one's ever challenged them and point me in the right direction like what you have. And there's amazing people. There's so many people that are doing this stuff now that need to be recognised, don't there? It really is.
Yeah, there's so much help out there. When I came into recovery, I didn't know anything. Didn't know nothing about recovery. Didn't know nothing about. I knew AA. Right, I knew that existed. Okay. Thought it was a load of weirdos. Thought it was all going to be having me praying, and you know, what I'd seen on the telly, which was a poor representation of it, really. But I found it. I fell into a room of AA because I really needed to be in it somewhere, anywhere. And then I had to find my own way then through a lot of stuff. And that doesn't make me, oh, look at me, I'm such a martyr, I've done it. I reached out. I asked people. I did something that I'd never do before. I asked for help. I've never asked for help. Didn't need it. If anyone offered it, I'd jump back at them like a moth from a flame. I'd be, what do you want from me? Yeah. Why are you offering me your help? What are you trying to do to me? Do you know what I mean? I was so full of doubt, so full of hatred, loathing.
So it's quite sad that, isn't it? Really, how we think like that. You know, we think we don't deserve things in life, do we? Because the life we lived in the chaos, and when someone wants to help us, we're like you just said, it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a lot of it's guilt, shame, remorse. We know all those things. Those who've done rehabs, they know all those things, and you work through those things. But a lot of it is because we'd lost. I was lost. I didn't know who I was. I knew who I wanted to be, and I knew there was a bit of me that was okay. You know, I've semi-raised 5 kids, partially. I'm not saying I've done hardly anything towards them, but I've been around a bit, tried my best. So I can't be all bad. But inside here, I was rotten to the core. Everything about me was rotten. And when you start thinking like that, well, who wouldn't get off the noodle? No. Bound to, aren't you? You're going to drink, you're going to use, you're going to live it up. Because I never had any plans on living. No. Didn't care. It wasn't that I wanted to die. I was never suicidal, which I know a lot of people in recovery can be. And outside of recovery. But for me, the difference was I didn't want to die, but I didn't care if I lived. Wasn't bothered.
I was one of them suicidal people, me, and it's a shame now. I love life, mate. I love it. I want what to be honest with me, most of the time it was a cry for help. It was a cry for help, but I was just too, like they say again, the fear of asking for help. Because I thought, men don't ask for help, do they? I thought, nah. Then in the end, obviously I tried ending my life 4 times, I think it was, and the first time I was only 16, maybe when I first took my first drug. You know, you think I'd learn, but I jumped off the motorway bridge and my top got caught on the fencing, the barbed fence at Hollingwood, and all that for doing what we was doing, you know.
Yeah.
And then I dragged it on to the age of 29.
And that's a massive thing, though, like you've just said, the men don't ask for help. And that's not a recent thing, that's forever. And I don't know if it's getting better. I hope it's getting better. I'd like to think it's getting better. You know, there's many organisations out there, loads of help out there, I'm sure. But if you don't know it's there, you're not going to go looking for it. And certainly not when you've got some of these wallopers all over the internet telling you, oh, man, be a man, man's man, do this, do that. And you think, what? When I see him, I think, split you in half with an hammer. You're going on about man's man. For me now, a man's man, someone who wants to be masculine, somebody who has to show that they've got weaknesses, because anyone who says they haven't, full of it.
That's a massive thing in it, I think, anyway, you know. I get a lot of people reaching out, and you do as well, and when people are saying, I think I've got a problem, well, if you think you've got a problem, why are you messaging me? You know you've got a problem. It's just that, it's the fear again, isn't it, for saying I've got a problem, or I think people just need to realise that it's okay.
Yeah.
It is okay to have to whatever you're suffering with.
Absolutely fine. And I can't really speak a lot around the levels of like mental health and stuff like that, because it's not been part of my story. I say that, do you know what I mean? I've been under psychiatric units, psychiatric care and all of that. Probably because I was horrible and I was using it as an excuse. And I was drinking and I was using drugs. But it's easier to say I'm a nut than I'm an addict, especially when I was younger. So I can't really talk about that, but a bit like that, I've had people phone me up. Oh, Mick, I really want a drink. Why don't you then? What do you want me to do about that? If you want a drink, you're over 18, off licences down the road, crack on. Yeah, but I don't want to. Right, okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Now I know where you're at. You feel compelled to, but you don't want to. That's then when you're admitting.
Yeah.
You're doing something against your own will.
100%. It's scary, isn't it? It really is, you know. When you was younger, you didn't think to yourself, when I grow up, I want to be an addict. I didn't know. When someone said to me, like an alcoholic or something like that, you picture someone that sat with a bottle in a brown paper bag, drinking it in the park, with fingertips cut out the gloves, with a long beard. But no, it's mad. It's mad. I first realised I had a problem when I was 22. Went into rehab in 2018. You know, and that's when I learnt about this stuff. And it's quite scary, isn't it? That I dragged it out till 29. Mad.
It's weird. I've been talking about this again today. I didn't realise I had a problem until I did. I didn't have a problem. You had a problem. My wife had a problem. My kids had a problem. My mum, my dad, my sisters, everybody else in the world, you know, whatever it is, 8.5 billion other people, they might have had a problem. I didn't have a problem. Until right to the point when I did. And I had to say, do you know what? Shit. By the time I was, 14, I'd been in Boothall Hospital twice getting me stomach pumped or getting charcoal pumped down my neck. Because I was always that kid who couldn't say no. Couldn't say no. All my mates, we'd graft a bottle of brandy from one of their houses. I wouldn't be there. It would be me. I'd blame them. Yeah. And then everyone else would be taking a little sip here and a little sip there. And I'd be a gannet. I'd be slugging away on it. And before I knew it, I'd be the one dumped on the field or dumped in front of my house.
Yeah. That's mad, isn't it? It's really mad. And that's to look back as well. I was always a greedy one of my friends. You know, on a Friday after school, we'd go and get Tim Carlsberg Export. I'd drink mine, and I'd be asking them, are they done with theirs? And then it's mad, innit? If you don't realise them things until you get older, do you? Until you lived. I never thought I'd be an addict or an alcoholic, as you say. I never would, and you know, it's now you look back at people and see them doing what you used to do, and you're like, I can do it. I can go out, me. I can only have a couple, but you can't. You're out for 4 days with no sleep. How can you say you can manage it? And then people will justify it. Yeah, well, I still go in work. Oh, right, sorry, you crack on then if you still go in work.
Yeah. And I do. I say it all the time. I hear these excuses all the time. Yeah, but I'm managing it. I'm okay. You know, I've not lost my license. My wife's not left me. All right, well, fine, then go on then. Go all in. Yeah. Don't and ultimately, and this is where I often get in trouble because I've not got time for that shit, man. If people are coming to me saying, oh, yeah, well, I think I could, right, well, go on then. Go all in then, Donny Brasco. Get it done. Change it. Go all in. Don't mess me about because I've not got time. Because the fact is, while I'm over there helping them who don't want help, there's half a dozen people over there that really desperately want my guidance or just want to ask me a question. And there's only so much time in the day, isn't there?
Yeah, I know. And for me, when I get people reaching out, certain individuals reached out, I'm not going to say her name or anything like that, but we guided her on what she needed to do, and she's shining now. And for people that want help, I'll just tell them to do the simple things, guide them, do what we did. And if people don't want to take it on, then they're not going to get well, but the ones that do take it on, look where they are now. And that's all for, I'm not even that far on. I'm 6 months. I'm proud of where I am, but for the likes of you and other people, helping them get to where they are, it's brilliant, you know. And it's just the simple things, innit? Stay connected.
Simple things. You can't get it much more simple than I won't do it today. That's where my basis starts. For 2 years now, over 2 years, all I've done is I've woke up every morning. Before I say hi to my wife, before I say anything else, before I open my eyes usually, I tell myself, I'm an alcoholic, I'm an addict. If I drink today, if I use today, I'll lose everything. And once I've got that basis, I can build up from there because I've got a solid base. And I can say, right, alcoholism, being an alcoholic, being an addict, that doesn't define me. It might describe me. And I've no shame in it. I used to be dead shame. I used to be riddled. Oh, I can't let people know that I've got a problem with drinking. Oh, no. I wear it on my hands now. I wear it as a badge of honour. Yeah. On my neck. I've got it there where everyone can see it. And it starts conversations. Sometimes someone will say, why have you got a camel on your hand? What the fuck's it got to do with you? No, I'll say, well, the camel can go one day without a drink. Yeah. And if I follow the camel, it's fine. But so from being a point of shame, I've turned it around and that's all I do. But again, I've got to say, I'm now special. There's no magic involved.
But what you do works and it helps other people, and you know, you work a good program, and you inspire others to do. And I don't know whether it's just me or do you do the same. I can't promise my family that I'll never drink or use drugs ever again, but I can show them that I won't use all drugs because I've promised them that many times and I broke it. It's just actions now speak louder than words for me.
Yeah, I can't promise myself. For my family, I can't, you know, and I used to have this lurking notion in my head that, oh, well, when my dad dies, I'll be able to get on it, because obviously when my dad's dead, everyone will expect me to be drinking, really. And I had this idea, oh, well, when my daughter graduates from university, or when my son turns 18, I'll be able to go. And for quite a while into my recovery, I still had this little notion in my head that that'd be okay. I can justify that. Yeah. Now, I don't know how, don't know why, but that's not there anymore. My dad will die. Well, he's 88. Of course he's going to die. And, you know, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The last thing I'm going to be doing is getting on it.
Yeah.
Because I know if I go and have a pint in the pub, I won't be one pint. I've never had one pint in my life.
I've not.
What was the point? I've never had one pill in my life. Oh, I've got 2 pills. Do you want one? No. I want both of them, or else I don't want any. And that's the thing. That's what a lot of people don't understand when it comes to drugs and drink. It wasn't a case of I could turn around and say, no, I'm not having a drink today. If I had a good enough reason, I could turn around and say, no, I can't drink today because whatever. I didn't do it very often, let's be fair, but I could do. But as soon as I said, okay, I'll have one, it went from 1 to 100, like that.
Yeah. I thought people that could just have one and go home, I thought they were fucking weirdos, if you ask me.
Yeah, all the nonsense, man.
Something wrong with them. But moving on from that, here's one for you. A list of things that get on your nerves.
Yeah, let's do that.
What annoys you?
Let's do the things that get on Mick's tits. Yeah, this could go on forever. I could sit here now and talk to you for about 4 hours about things that get on my nerves. And I don't just mean like all the things that get on my nerves, that gets on everyone's nerves, like traffic jams and stuff like that. I mean the little things that I'm sure other people can relate to, but that really make my ass sore, man. And you know, one of them is, lately,
go on,
people speaking oldie worldy.
Right.
Instead of using instead of saying morning, they go, oh, good morrow. Or they'll write a text message and they'll say, grand rising. Who the fuck are you, Lord Farquhar? Settle down, you're in handcoats. What are you going on about? Just say morning. That. I'm like that. Get in the bin. Go over there and get in the bin, mate, because you're doing my head in.
Oh. Look, that's how much you're doing his head in.
Really. That's how much it winds me up. What, throw that out the window.
Right, come on. Some more.
Yeah, what else? What else gets on my nerves? Yeah. You know what else? Home bargains. Not home bargains as in everywhere. First aisle, number 1 aisle.
Why?
They put the makeup and the hair stuff and all the stuff in there, and then everyone decides, we're just going to stop here. This is as far as we want to go now. So everyone who comes behind us is going to have to wait because they've got trolley bags and they've got trolleys. And a bit of me wants to go like that. Hey, all right, trolley bag. Whoop, off you go and get that. And but do you know what it is now?
Now you've said that, I'm gonna keep an eye on that now because I've never noticed that. I'm too busy going to the sweets, chocolates, fucking.
But that's the problem. They're stopping me getting to the cakes. You're holding me up. Do you not know how important I am and how busy I am? And you're delaying me. But now when I think about it, that used to be. I would used to have grabbed the trolley bag and gone, get out of my road, move, shift like all shit. Now what I do is I go like that. Oh, hang on. Oh, there's enough away there. Yeah. And I just walk round another way. It takes me about an extra 3 seconds in my day.
But you want to go that way in the
But
first
that's the way you know what I mean? As if I'm still in COVID and you have to walk round, snake round the aisles in a certain pattern. As soon as you're knocking me off, that does me head in. Yeah, and people who
ruining your structure.
Ruining my day, ruining my life, man. That's what they're doing. And I have this thing in my head where they're doing it on purpose. Yeah. These strangers are doing it on purpose. People who don't know me, because I'm so special and I'm so unique. These have gone out of their way to irritate me for 2 seconds.
Bastards.
They bastards. Bastards. But, do you know, like I say, when I was in the chaos, I didn't think twice about it. I would just upset people. I would have just barged through them like a bully, stomp my way through, walk to the front of the queue because do you not know who I am? Queuing up like some sort of normal person. Here, either take me money or don't. If you don't want it, I'll just walk out with it. Because that was the behaviour, that was the mindset of I'll just do it. Who's going to stop me? I'll tell you who's going to stop me. That copper will stop you. That's who'll stop you there. PC Plum, he'll stop you. And now I can just go, you know what? The great thing for me now is pause. I've got it on my wrist. I have it. Someone said it to me once, the power of pause, and I thought, wow, that's a good, deep thing. And then when he explained it to me, and I thought, I need that on my wrist. Just thinking of it won't be enough. I need a physical reminder. And I'll tell you what, 2 years into recovery, I probably press my pause button about 3 times a day. About 3 times a day, I press my pause button.
Here's one for you. What about, I know it certainly annoys me, I don't know if it annoys you, but when we put walks on, this shouldn't be an option. You either come to the walks or not. Interested. What the fuck does that mean? Interested. It shouldn't even be a...
Yeah, it's giving people that grey area.
Yeah. Should it even be an option?
No. I think you're either in or you're out. You know, it's like those people, I think it might be Ricky Gervais said it once, you either believe in God or you don't believe in God. Or there's no third option. There's no, I might do. You're either coming to the walk or you're not coming to the walk. There's no, I might do. Oh, well, you let us know when you want to come then. You don't worry. We set them up, every 2 weeks? 2 weeks, yeah. But if you don't feel like it, we'll delay all these other dozen people because Margaret, she's not quite on board with it yet. So let's wait for her. Fuck off, Margaret. Do me head in.
But on the plus side to them walks, they are amazing, aren't they?
Brilliant. They are.
Good. Really, really good. We started off on the first one, it was me, you, and Brian won it. Yeah. Oh, look at us.
Yeah, there was just the 3 of us. And I knew Brian a bit. I'd done some work with Brian. We'd had our fallings out here and there, but we were still trying, and Brian was still trying, and I'd only just met you 2 days before, and but I thought, you know what, why not? And again, it's that stretching myself. I really didn't want to do it. I still don't want to do it. Every time a walk's coming around, it gets to 8 o'clock, 7:30, whatever, on a Sunday morning, and I'm thinking, oh, fuck off, Bradley. Don't want to do it. I want to make an excuse up for it. Yeah. But yeah, I go out and I do the walk, and then I see, because again, it's that, what we was talking about before when we talked about being selfish, and we have to be. But then there's that other side of that, when if I stay at home and I just sit there, and I'm moping about in my own skin and in my own head, and it's making me itchy, because I get an itch inside my brain that I can't quite get to. And also, there's a lot of people out there that want to talk to Brad, want to talk to Mick, want to talk to Emma, want to talk to anyone. Just they want to talk to somebody, because that's what I really, really love about our walks. We are in recovery. We know that path.
And it's not just that, it's when we do a reading as well. Obviously, we read out of a certain book, we're not going to give names, but it's so the outside people are coming along. I think they've got a bit of a problem. It's giving them a look into what we do and a look into our world. And it's just people, someone said it, didn't they? They went, wow, can you? And and then this certain person asks for you to read it more often now, don't they?
Yeah, and you know, and I do read from the book, and I do. Sometimes I don't read. You know, the last one we walked, I just read a poem. It was a poem that had been taught to me by my sponsor who helps me. But it's always something. And if it just makes one person think, and I always say it, because again, that's another thing that gets on my tits, man. When people say, "Oh yeah, but I'm not an addict." Okay, well, it's not for you then. Carry on with your day, you know. Or when I used to have, I sometimes post big long war and peace things on WhatsApp or Facebook or whatever, and people used to be saying to me, "Oh, I can't be bothered to read that." Well, don't fucking read it then. What do you think that I'm keeping it? I've got some sort of a special algorithm on my phone that tells me everyone who reads it. Scroll past. Takes you a second, just go like that. Oh, it's that Mick again. Full of shit in. Whoop. Won't make me feel bad.
Some people. I always read it anyway.
They're annoying, aren't they? I mean, too peoply for me anyway. A lot of them are.
But now on these walks and stuff like that, some people are suggesting places to go, and we're going to them, and I've come across some place that I never even knew existed.
Yeah.
Like, what was it, Lud's Church?
Lud's Church, yeah, up near, was it near Macclesfield or somewhere like that?
Walk down them steps. Someone said, "Is that it?" He went, "Just fucking walk down there and have a look, you'll see it."
Keep walking a bit, man. You've come all this way, and then you get to a step and you go, "Oh, right, that's it. Everyone back home. Keep walking, you might see something." And that's it. You know, you don't get to get out your own area. No. A lot of these people who come on these walks with us, they either through alcohol, drugs, loneliness, whatever it might be, just sometimes they're just discomfort, just a little bit. They feel so isolated. And I think a lot of people get to that point where they've isolated for so long, then they don't know how to mix with people, and it becomes frightening, becomes overwhelming for them.
And that's where the unity comes in as well, doesn't it? You know, when people come along, I tend to mix people up a bit and speak to different people on the walk, and you know, we're all so close now. And when we went to Wales on the last walk, you know, being in that minibus and just having a laugh, and that's what it's about. This is what we're doing now. We're showing people what recovery is about and what your life can be on the other side of the hellhole, the jails, the fucking relapses. We don't need that to have a good life.
And it's beautiful, man, because it is, you know, for me, it says it's called the Alderman Fails of Walking and Unity Group. And you've got to have a bit of one before you can have the other. But it's not just a walking group. And I get it with people when they're saying to us, "Oh, well, I want to walk here or I want to walk there." Calm down, Edmund Hillary. Slow it down. We're not mountaineers. It's not a fitness thing. If it was, I won't be on it. I'll guarantee you 100%. As soon as somebody mentions a burpee to me, see you later. I'm off because I don't know what one of them is. And I've got no intention of finding out. Nearly 50, man. And then, but the unity side of it, and like you say, you don't get on with everyone all the time. Can't do. It's impossible. I don't get on with you all the time.
No.
Can't do. It's impossible.
No.
That's not normal.
And that's what makes our friendship relationship closer, because it's not fake then, is it? You know what I mean? It's what's that saying? You've got to be cruel to be kind, haven't you?
Sometimes, yeah. But as you walk in, when you're walking next to somebody and you can walk for a bit and you're having a bit of conversation and yeah. And then you might realise, or they might realise, he's doing my head in. That Mick's right up his own arse. What's he going on about? Keep going on about drinking. He's going on about recovery. I don't want to hear that. So what you do is you'll speed up a bit or slow down a bit. And then you'll have another mug that's beside you. And eventually you mix around all the time. 1 minute I'll be talking to him, shouting at him. Then I'll be talking to Emma. Then I'll be talking to this person. And I'll just move around, you know, because we all walk at different paces, you know. And that's the beauty of it, because that's how you get to mix. And sometimes there'll be people stood next to me And they're forced to talk to me. They're forced sometimes then to face the uncomfortable truth that they've got to say, oh, well, I use this, or I use that, or I've done this, or I've done that. And I have to look at them then and go, I think you might be an addict. Do you think you might be?
And going off that, what ways have you learned yourself how to not lose the entire plot and go fucking loopy? What do you do not to go off track and go fucking bonkers?
Who says I don't? No, there is coping strategies that I have to use and I have to put into place. Do you know what I mean? My steps have taught me a lot. You know, being able to do an inventory, being able to find out my place in it, teaches me a lot that I never knew before. If anyone was upsetting me, it was their fault. It was always your fault. You're upsetting me. I never once ever asked myself, why is that upsetting me? Why am I so impatient? Why am I so aggressive towards that person? You know? So that helps me because I'm analysing myself a lot of the time doing it. The pause.
That's a massive one for you, that
Pausing.
pause,
I've got to be able to pause. And I say it all the time again, and I'll say it here. I've learnt more on public transport about myself than I have ever learned in any room or any fellowship or any recovery room or anything else. Because if you can sit on a bus with school kids at school time coming on and they're all fucking at it, doing whatever it is that they do nowadays, that's fashionable. Putting the feet up on the chairs, because I never did that when I was a kid. But if I can keep my patience there, and I can not turn around and say to some 12-year-old, knock you out in a minute. You can do it anywhere then, and it's so that's and their skills they're hard learned. They don't come natural to me. A lot of this shit that I've had to do, it's not natural. It's counter-natural. It goes against everything that I believe in, everything that I've ever been taught. Really, you know, I wasn't brought up in the what do they call it, gentle parenting. Or passive parenting or something like that. That wasn't in my house.
Tough love parenting.
It was, well, you could call it tough love if you wanted to. I suppose that's what you'd call it if the social services got involved. Which thankfully, in the 70s and 80s, they wasn't as keen, maybe. Not saying that that was a good thing, but I'm just saying it wasn't. But I was brought up in that sort of attitude of, you know, if something needs squaring or if someone needs straightening, go and fucking straighten them then. Don't mess about. Don't come in here crying to me. Because if you come in here crying to me, you know, my mum, God rest her, she had no patience for that. She had no time for that. She had 6 kids. She had no time for one or the other of us coming in saying, oh, ma'am, I fell over. Oh, go and have a shite for yourself. You'll be all right.
It's right, innit? It's right, and I get that. I really, really do get that. And for me, it's structure. Structure's massive for me for not fucking going around the bend. But also, I've got to have that time for myself. You know, got a good little family now. I've got a family which I love the bones of, and just sitting in with them, that means so much to me rather than being out there in the chaos. This is life, innit? Do you know what I mean? And I finally feel like I'm fucking growing up. Because I've always had a drink or a drug in me where I've never grew up. And this is adult life to me, innit? And I'm 30, do you know what I mean? People are like, fucking, I don't give a fuck. My family mean everything to me, you know, and that's what this stuff's given me.
But do you know, that's a massive thing as well, because I hear it said all the time, and obviously people know I know you.
Yeah.
I was Brad. Oh, yeah. Why don't you go and ask him? But then I also hear a lot of it. Oh, yeah, but he's only young, innit? He's only, yeah, but remember, you got to remember, because I am hard. Sometimes I can be hard. And people will say to me, oh, Brad, don't talk to me about Bradley. Don't want to know he's doing me nothing. Just leave him to do what he's got to do. I'm having a break. And then I hear, oh, but he's only young. Going on about? Only young? 30 years of age. I had 2 kids by the time I was his age. Grafting. But I get it. You know what I mean? Sometimes I get confused in my own head because I look at it and I say, oh, when you're our age, you're mad. But you're right. You have got to eventually get to that point when you decide, you know what? It's time to put on my big boy trousers now.
It is.
And I've got to do it. And you're at that, definitely, you're at that stage, you know,
100% now,
that point of no return, as it were.
Yeah.
Where if you don't do it now, is someone going to be saying to me in 10 years' time, oh, Brad, he's only 40.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
it ain't happening. Ain't going down this road again. Not a chance. Fucking not a prayer. But going out to the viewers and all that, what would you say to them to subscribe to this channel now? And what would you want them to do?
What would I want them to do? Right. Well, the algorithm, I'm sure, I don't know now about it. I'm pretending here like I know what I'm talking about, but I've read it somewhere on a toilet wall somewhere that the algorithm needs you to like and subscribe. And, you know, we've all seen it, haven't we? By those people with highlights and brilliant white teeth that go, hi, guys. They do me tits in and all. But no.
We just need a channel for him as he sits in.
Yeah, I can tell you I could talk for hours. But yeah, so obviously that's what I want them to do. That's what the algorithm wants them to do. What I want them to do is be real. You know, watch it. If it helps you, and that's what we're doing it for. If it's going to help one person, then that's what it's for. It's worth it. Yeah. It's worth what we're doing if it's going to help one person. If it's not for you, don't bother. Don't bother telling me it's not for you. If you're not going to tell me in real life, if you're not going to walk up to me on the street and say, hey, Mick, that's not for me, that thing that you said, don't write it down somewhere underneath. Don't bother, because you know what? I'm going to go like that. Wasted your time, haven't you? You know what I mean? It takes longer I promise you, it takes longer to type it than it does for me to ignore it.
And if you could say one thing, Mick, to someone who's out there suffering and still in the madness, what would you say to him?
It's never too late. It's not too late. If you think it's too late and you think you're too far gone, I can tell you now, it's not. I was a hopeless alcoholic, a hopeless addict. I was on my ass. I was literally on the bones, ready. My family was leaving me. I'd lost my job. I was hopeless, absolutely without hope. But then, slowly, just once I'd made that decision to ask someone, a stranger, and that, you know,
about making that first step.
That first step, reach out to us, you know, and there is loads of it. Like I say, I didn't know about recovery, but there is loads out there. And if it comes through watching us pair of clowns here, knocking microphones over and doing whatever else we've been doing, if that's where your help comes from, that's okay. Reach out to us, you know, reach out somewhere. And if you think it's going to help somebody else as well, you know, because you've got to remember, we're the last to know. Often. I certainly was the last to know. When I turned around and I said to my wife, I think I'm an alcoholic, she went, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
Everyone knows.
I think we did know, all of us, but we just chose not to, didn't we?
Well, yeah, but we were the last ones to admit it, I suppose. But if you've got a family member or somebody you care about and you think, you know what, it's hard sometimes, isn't it, to just walk up to someone and say, you're a piss can, get to AA, or you're this or you're that, leave that snow alone, you need to get off, you know. Say to a mate, these two idiots on YouTube or whatever it is, have a listen.
Yeah. Come and get involved with what we do.
Yeah,
anytime.
And then definitely, and that's what we're all about as well, and it's about getting people involved in this. It can't just be me and you sat here, because that'd die on its ass pretty quickly. So we want to get other people involved, people in the world of recovery from all aspects. I don't care whether you're one day in or you're a decade in. If you've got a story and it's powerful and you want somebody else to hear it, then let us know. And if we can, then yeah, we'll help you. You know, I'm not going to make you famous. I'm not going to sit here like Simon Cowell and judge you and say, "Oh yeah, your story's not
Red
quite."
buzzer.
Yeah, your story's not quite hitting the mark with me. You know what I mean? Could your dog not have died when you was younger or something like that? I'm not going to be all about that. If you've got something you want to tell us, and it doesn't have to be around recovery. You know, sometimes people suffer from just pure loneliness, isolation, mental health. If they've got that story to tell us, I want to know that. That interests me. I want to know about that.
Brilliant. But yeah, stay tuned, everyone, because we've got a lot of good things that are going to be coming, a lot of good real life stuff. And I just want to say a massive thanks to Ross and Emma and Mick and everyone that gets involved with this stuff. You know, you're all amazing, and just keep an eye out because we're going to be growing. God bless you all.
See you later, man.